Hello everyone, I am Marjeros Casikas and we are going to discuss who is the father of educational philosopher, John Dewey. John Dewey. Who is John Dewey and known for? John Dewey was an American philosopher, psychologist, and educational reformer, whose ideas have been influential in education and social reform. He was one of the most prominent American scholars in the first half of the 20th century. He is also the father of educational philosophy. John Dewey had a theories in education, and those are learning by doing, learning based on their experiences, facilitating learning through a created need for knowledge. In his theory, Dewey believed that human beings learn through a hands-on approach. Dewey's focus was mainly on children's education and the way that they learn. He believed that getting something out of their education was very important. With experiments and activities, kids were able to see a new vision of learning by hands-on work. So, in his theory, learning by doing gives children an opportunity to be responsible for their own learning. Due to their direct involvement, the children feels a sense of achievement.
Here are John Dewey contribute to the education. Curriculum, teaching methods, theories, teacher rule, school rule. First, we have curriculum for him should be based on students' interests and should involve them in active experiences. He saw learning by doing, practical life skill as crucial to the children's education. His education philosophy hacking forward for the progress education. Then we have the teaching methods according to him. Teaching methods should focus on hands-on problem solving, experimenting, and projects, often having students work in groups, which obviously and evidently what do we in present. He said that direct experience to base on all methods knowledge takes place from meaningful situation. Therefore, knowledge it comes from situation of activities of the children. Dewey's methods of teaching are based on what I said while ago, which is learning by doing, which he believed has connection with the life of the child. Next, theories. Experiential education. Dewey focused his concept of instrumentalism in education on learning by doing or hands learning, which means to learn not only by the theory but also the practice. Instrumentalism is the theory of knowledge created by Dewey in which ideas are summed to exist primarily as instrument for the solution of problem encountered environment. Experiential education meaning Dewey believed that people learn best through experience. Next, we have the teacher's rule. According to Dewey, the more the teacher know about the expansive experiences, the desires, the hopes, the chief interests of the student to better that learning. For him, the teacher should guide the student and servant facilitator. He believed the teachers become of learning process who leaves the student to independent discover the meaning within the subject area. The teacher engage not only the training the children but also in the information of the proper social life. And last, we have schools rule. Dewey believed that schools should be representative of a social environment and that students learn best when in natural social settings. Dewey to emphasize the importance of education in school, it is not just a place being knowledge but it also a place to learn how to use. Up to state his word wisdom inspire us to do more, be more, and learn more.
John Dewey is widely regarded as the most prominent progressive education theorist. His pragmatist, constructivist, and democratic ideas and viewpoints had a significant impact on the field of education. Dewey influences can be found in many concepts and ideas employed by progressive educators and outcome-based practitioners such as problem-solving skills, learning by doing, critical thinking skills, and lifelong learning. In many ways, John Dewey's influence is still seen in today's education. An example to this is hands-on learning. Hands-on learning is common in classrooms, such as science labs, where children learn scientific processes by performing experiments rather than watching the teacher demonstrate them. Modeling is also used, in which students follow the teacher's instructions step by step, with the teacher making necessary changes along the way. The K-12 basic education program embodies an educational reform influenced by John Dewey's educational thoughts, both direct and indirect influences. The impact of John Dewey on present Philippine education appears to be focused on curricular innovations. On the other hand, his influence is more about pragmatist and contractivist thoughts about curriculum and learning. In conclusion, Dewey's theory had a broad impact on education. He influenced new teaching methods that improved an individual's learning capacity by proposing and implementing hands-on or experiential education. His passion for philosophy and psychology prompted him to reach out to his views and put them to study for experimental purposes, resulting in a positive impact on today's curriculum and how we think about learning and education.